Hi, I'm Pep Rosenfeld, and I welcome you to this Salesforce Leading Through Change episode, this one focused on transport and logistics. You know, companies that went digital a long time ago, I'm talking about before any of us knew we would all have to go digital, those companies are super well positioned to lead the way, to respond to the business challenges that current events are forcing upon us, and of course to emerge from this whole situation better positioned than they were before. So this episode, let's hear from Rebecca Wright, who's head of marketing innovation for Maersk. We'll have a conversation with her and find out her perspective on getting through this whole situation. You enjoy it there, I will enjoy it here.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of our Leading Through Change in Transport and Logistics webinar series. My name is Vlad Henslik. I lead Salesforce business development in travel, transport and hospitality. I am really excited about sharing stories of digital innovation and transformation. So I'm delighted to be joined today by Rebecca Wright from Maersk. Rebecca is the head of marketing innovation at Maersk and the head of marketing at Twell, a Maersk company focusing on logistics solutions for small and medium businesses. Rebecca, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to the webinar. Can I ask you for a quick introduction as well, please?
Thanks, Vlad, and hi, everyone. My name's Rebecca, and I work in Maersk, where I've been for 4 years, based in the marketing department, but working across customer services, sales, and marketing to best engage with customers using data as our decision points. Prior to joining Maersk, I worked in the UK, working for Vodafone, the enterprise group, as a marketing activation manager, and I'm really pleased to be here.
So today's conversation will have 4 parts. First, we will talk about some of the key challenges and priorities for transport and logistics companies right now in the coronavirus crisis. Then we will talk about the role of digital capabilities in making companies more resilient and more agile. Then we'll get Rebecca to share the story of how Maersk is experiencing some of these challenges and how it's responding. And finally, we'll wrap up and we'll share some further resources if you are interested in learning more. So it's become very clear that the current crisis is causing major disruption to global supply chains and to the transport and logistics sector. Manufacturing output is down and consumer demand and consumer sentiments are very weak at the moment. Except for that initial rush of customers to stores to buy food and medical supplies. Transport operations are disrupted. We are seeing major disruptions due to border closures, due to employee shortages, due to lack of air cargo capacity, etc. Many companies have introduced new procedures and new processes to make sure that their employees and their customers are safe. And these are obviously very important, but they're also impacting the efficiency of their frontline employees. And they're just getting in the way of things getting done very quickly. Despite all these processes and procedures, frontline employees are at a higher risk of contracting coronavirus, which could lead to higher rates of employee shortages and could disrupt the industry further. And finally, given the longer shipping times and given the levels of disruption, customers are demanding a lot of transparency and asking the question of, where's my stuff? When can I expect my stuff? What we're seeing is that transport and logistics companies are responding to the crisis not just by focusing on the immediate stabilization, but also on the recovery and the future leadership preparation phase. So in the immediate stabilization phase, they're focusing on taking care of their employees, on ensuring continuity of operations and optimal use of resources which are now very limited, and also on providing more transparency to customers. And in the recovery and future leadership planning phase, they are preparing for the rebound in demand. They're making sure they have enough capacity, and they are making sure that they are sufficiently resilient. They're also trying to build more resilience to future disruption through new processes and new business continuity procedures. And they're exploring opportunities to innovate and build new business models, such as last mile grocery delivery or building marketplaces for personal protective equipment. We at Salesforce believe that digital solutions can be an important part of the solution, and they can help transport and logistics companies drive through change. Transport and logistics companies that have built strong digital capabilities have 6 main advantages. They can support their employee safety, employee collaboration, and employee engagement by responding to employees effectively, by building those two-way communication channels, and by providing their employees with good digital collaboration tools. These companies can innovate processes, they can improve compliance with those processes, and they can reduce the burden on their employees by digitizing processes and automating parts of their processes. The companies can also optimize their operations decisions and broader business decisions by leveraging real-time end-to-end operations data, by relying on smart forecasting, and by using new interactive dashboards to make sense of the data. There's also an opportunity for these companies to increase throughput and utilization by collaborating with their supply chain partners and pooling capacity to address some of the bottlenecks currently in the supply chain networks. These companies can also drive customer satisfaction by responding to customers effectively and taking into account the context of the customer situation when talking to their customers. And finally, they can win new business by understanding their customers and reaching out to them in a personalized way. Maersk is a great example of a company that's leading the way on digital transformation, so I'm really excited to hear Rebecca's perspective. But just before we go there, let me play a quick video on the Salesforce and Maersk collaboration to set the scene.
The transport and logistics industry is incredibly old-fashioned.
We need to do more than just the A to B transportation.
The consequences of not changing is to become irrelevant.
The impact of technology in our industry will have profoundly disruptive effects, but it's a big opportunity. Maersk is a truly global network operating in more than 140 countries. Our vision for the future is to become the integrator of container logistics, simplifying and connecting our customers' supply chain, to make the world smaller and to make sure that our customers' products can be competitive wherever they want them to be.
They don't do shipping because they want to do shipping. They do shipping because they have to. So taking that complexity away from our customers is something that we have to do.
We are here to enable our customers to be successful. But the only way we can do that is by modernizing and serve our customers better and meet their needs for the future.
For someone like Maersk, Salesforce is a great partner that, like us, continue to take the responsibility to innovate.
We have been pioneering on the digital front for quite a few years. We have to continue to trailblaze there, create new standards, create new way of meeting our customers' needs.
We have more than 80,000 customers and 1 million customer contacts. What we found with the Salesforce platform is the opportunity to link sales, service, and marketing has really enabled us to elevate the conversation to a whole new level.
Salesforce helps us innovate by actually having all the customer data in one place, and at the same time allow us to start having a corporate memory of our customers and move from the one-size-fits-all to a customer-led experience with a customer at the heart of everything that we do.
You might have a lot of data, but getting insight out of that data is it's super complex. So we have the Einstein analytics to help us generate insights very fast. Getting just about 500,000 interactions a week, it just generates a gold mine.
So not only do we get a lot of data, do we capture it better, but we actually are able to make sense of it and capture on opportunities that we did not know were there before.
We see that Salesforce is an integral part of us trailblazing this industry.
It's really about helping move the world and opening up opportunities for commerce and growth.
Today, the impact that technology has is actually changing this from an old, rusty industry into a really, really tech-savvy industry with a lot of potential. Salesforce is the cornerstone of that. It just never ceases to amaze me.
Thanks, Vlad. Great introduction. You're right, change is here because of the virus, but it's also here because the industry is continuing to evolve. We have 3 main areas of focus, and you've mentioned some of them already. The first is around keeping our employees safe, because if they are, we can do our second thing, which is to help keep our customers' businesses moving. The third area of our focus is to actually do good. And I'd like to talk about this area in the first place. We are usually pretty humble about doing this, and we don't publicize a lot of the work that gets done. It's part of our brand. However, we have made a couple of things public, and I'm really pleased to be able to share them with you. Run by A.P. Moller Maersk, our holding company, we have started something called a Maersk Bridge. It was done initially at the request of the Danish government to try and move PPE equipment from China into Denmark where it was needed in the hospitals quickly. It's been successful. It's now a week trip, and actually it's been successful also offering it to other governments around Europe. We're also extending this, and we're actually trying to operate in the communities that where our employees are as part of keeping them safe. For example, where the sanitation is a little bit kind of difficult to come by, we're making sure that our employees come to work with clean hands and are able to become clean and clear from the virus. And in doing so, are moving sanitation out into the local communities where most of them live. And that way, we feel that we're helping not just ourselves, but also the local areas. The first two have some common challenges within them. And these aren't new to the virus. This is what we deal with every day as we try to help our customers from Maersk. The first one is that we need a common view of the customer. The second one is we need to know when and how to engage. And the third one is actually how do we measure our successes. In doing so, digitization, and particularly with Salesforce, has helped us in 4 ways. In the first way, we have been digital for some time. 98% of all Maersk bookings come online. And around 50% of those actually coming through Maersk.com. This means that our customers can continue to book with us on mobile, on web, or through EDI and API or third-party channels. It doesn't matter whether we are in the office or not in the office, our services are available 24/7. We use this data of our customers' behavior online to actually continue to help them. We actually look at how they behave online and actually try to encourage them either to complete a journey that they've started or to come back and buy more. For example, we're using GA Connector 360 to look at actually how customers are behaving on different devices. So if, for example, we see somebody using the website on a mobile, we're actually sending them a nudge journey, or sending them on a nudge journey that basically says, actually, we have an app which will give you a better experience and help you to do what you're trying to do. Similarly, we also look at things like abandoned shopping carts, and we pick up where actually customers seem to be unable to complete or choosing not to complete at that time, and sending them on an abandoned shopping cart journey. In doing so, recovering revenue, but also reminding them of what they were trying to do and asking how we can help. And this has been successful for us in the last 18 months, and we're seeing a big uptake in this in the current times. In the third way, is actually we are helping our employees who are no longer sat in the offices with each other. But for this isn't something too new for us. We operate across 154 countries, and therefore we're used to not sitting next to each other and helping one single customer. However, we've created a parent campaign code using in Sales Cloud, and we have basically been able to use this data to identify where we are able to help our customers, what they are interested in, but also at the same time reflect that on other similar customers and extend the offers. A key way that we have developed something pretty fast in response to the crisis, but have gathered that data through Salesforce, is actually looking at warehousing. You mentioned that actually there are some customers who want to speed up demand and other customers who are seeing a reduction in the demand from their own consumers. And what we're able to do is actually, when China came back online, there was basically a big view of actually China needed to export. However, in the big markets like the US and parts of Europe, there actually wasn't a demand to take that import, and therefore we were in a bit of a difficult situation, and our customers weren't sure what to do with their supply chain. What we were able to offer, in addition to our normal warehousing solutions, which is part of the supply chain management, we were able to offer temporary warehousing solutions using our networks of the containers that we had available, and even sometimes some of the vessels we have available, and actually storing our customers' goods not necessarily at origin or destination, but also in transshipment, meaning that our customers get to choose very quickly whether they want to change destination. It could be something that was on its way to Europe and is now going to Latin America, and therefore it's able to change mid-journey, and they have that choice, which helps them keep their supply chain moving at a speed that works for them. This has worked so well in some cases, and it's a really great story that we're able to share, is that we heard on TV in New Zealand of a customer, a dairy farmer, who actually was talking about the difficulties of the situation and made a comment to a news broadcast that just said, of course my supply chain is still working. And he referred back to a deal that we have done with Frontier Port and with Maersk that actually enables the dairy farmers in New Zealand to have a very consistent supply chain, both in and out. And it was great to actually get his endorsement that it was working. We're able to share this information thanks to Salesforce on both a dashboard and on Lightning. That basically means that wherever our employees are working, and no matter what their level of connectivity is, they're able to actually continue to help our customers and continue to serve them. And this is also the same when we look at customer services. So the fourth area around how a project that we've been working on for some time to make sure that our customer service agents no longer have to look at 32 different applications in order to be able to meet the needs of a customer on one call, and bring all that information from our legacy systems into one area, which was called Service View. And that was available in its own environment. But what we have done, because the customer service teams have now been spread out and are working from home and doing a great job, we were able to move this onto Lightning and make it available to them again, no matter what their connectivity was. So they had the information they needed from many, many different systems across Maersk, and were able to use it to answer customers where they were. So all in all, we have been pretty good. We were pretty prepared digitally to begin with, and now we're able to extend that, and so means that our customers continue to get served well and our employees stay safe.
Thank you for sharing, Rebecca. I think this is a really, really inspiring story, and it's great to see that Maersk is powering through the coronavirus crisis as well as it is. I would like us to change gears slightly and talk a little about the future as well. Can you tell us about your perspective on how the industry, the transport and logistics industry, is going to change going forward, and what Maersk is doing to prepare for that?
I think the industry is evolving. It's perhaps not the fastest in terms of customer experiences, but it's definitely changing. And I think this crisis is probably accelerating that. We've seen, for example, in places like Germany, where actually the market was very resistant to being digital, particularly as we started to surface our Twill value proposition for SMEs. And actually, during the fact that suddenly people are faced with that they can't have face-to-face meetings, that there aren't necessarily people on hand to call or to visit the way that they're expecting them to, they started to switch over to digital. And we're also seeing this not just on our own platforms, but based on media behavior and other customer experiences. So I think this is an accelerator. I think it's an exciting time to be in the logistics industry, and this will help us move forward. So anybody who has already been preparing for digital will be in a good place.
Great. No, I think it makes perfect sense. And we're hearing about this acceleration from a lot of businesses. Are there any specific innovations at Maersk that you are personally particularly excited about?
Maersk continues to innovate like every company around, and certainly every company in logistics. We continue to innovate in the way that we drive customer experiences and in the way that we try to serve our customers, and obviously try to optimize that as much as possible. The key area that I'm most excited about right now, and it's not just because I'm on here a call with you in Salesforce, is actually we're trying to figure out how best to engage between sales and marketing with customers who still have an offline presence and offline need. Particularly those where we are integrating more deeply with their supply chains. It's not something that we can do just digitally. As much as we would love to, it's just not possible. And so we're trying to start an experiment with using Pardot to understand actually how do we gauge a customer's interest between an activity in marketing into sales, and also taking a sales activity and then making it into a marketing effort. And that is something that, again, we've been talking about for some time. But as we are not close together and sitting in our own environments where marketing sits side by side with sales, we're actually finding the need to use the platform in a better way and perhaps the way it was originally designed, but in a deeper way than we've been used to. So it's something to look forward to. It's taken us some time, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of the outcome of the testing.
Great. Well, I'm very glad that one of the innovations that you're most excited about is a Salesforce innovation as well. That's great news. Great news. Brilliant. Rebecca, thank you again so much for joining us. It was great to hear about your perspective, both on the resilience piece and on the agility piece. And what I'm really taking away from our conversation is that these strong digital capabilities can play a really important role in driving resilience and driving agility, and that digital solutions are relevant in this space.